Hello everyone and welcome to the annual Scottish Borders Hill Rally from the idyllic setting of the Forest Lodge Estate. This end of season extravaganza sees some of the top off-road competitors in the country come together to fight it out for this coveted prize. It's another top quality entry in 2019, and with a tricky set of stages ahead of them, it's anyone's guess as to who'll come out on top.
So it's a cold, brisk morning here at Forest Lodge for the Hill Rally of 2019. Justin Birchall is joining me, the 2019 British Cross Country Championship winner. How are you doing, Justin?
Not so bad, a bit nippy, isn't it? So yeah, very well, thanks, very well.
Yeah, this event is one that eludes you very often. It's something you've not won before. We've got no Anthony Jackson. It could be yours for the taking.
Fingers crossed. She's eluded me for about 10, 12 years. I've won up here on the British, but every time it comes to a hill rally, I've always ended up with some gremlins. So I had a good lead about 6 years ago. 2012 I had a good lead, and then I had an electrical issue, and that took me out. So if it's not down to driver error, I've always had electrical error. So yeah, fingers crossed we've got everything battened down and no electrical issues.
It's a different event to the British Cross Country Championship where you do a run and you come back and service. You've got 3 back-to-back stages and then service. Is that what plays a difference in terms of the car and the electronics and how the car performs?
Yeah, there's more nutrition on the car. You have to drive a lot more strategic. You can't just go flat out and then think it's okay, I can go straight into service. So you've got to be a lot tidier. Plus it's hill rally, so you've actually your first run's out. You don't know where you're going, so every corner's a blind corner. You don't know what's on the other side of it. The quarry's what's done in there. So it's totally different to the British, which is a single stage event. You get to walk it and you get to familiarise yourself with it. Hill rally, you're on that start line, you don't know where you're going. So it's only knowledge that I've run up here for 10 years or I know this section of track, but you get around the corner, they might have just come up with something new. So if you go very committed at 6th gear thinking, I know it's an open one here, and then all of a sudden they might have just done something totally different. So you can't drive the hill rally fully committed because you don't know just what's behind that corner.
And a new co-driver this year as well.
Yeah, unfortunately Jonathan's not so well and he can't join us today, so I wish you all the best, John, and he'll be back on his feet and hopefully back in the car for next year. So I've got Mason stepping in. He's a bit nervous. I said, well, you're going to have to up it up because next year you're in with your dad. So yeah, we've got practice for Mason there.
Well, good luck. We can't wait to see how this all unfolds. We've got plenty of stages ahead of us. We'll see you at the end.
Cheers, thank you.
So will Justin Birchall make it his first time ever win here at the Scottish Borders Hill Rally?
Well, one of Justin's biggest rivals this weekend will no doubt be Mark Jakes, who with 8 hill rallies under his belt already knows exactly what it takes to be competitive here.
In 2018, going into the last stage, Mark Jakes was holding second place pretty firmly, but Willie Stubbs came in and took it from you. This year, you've had a great year at the British Cross Country Championship. Is it going to be one step up on the podium this year?
I'd like to think it'd be 2 steps up on the podium, to be honest, but I mean, top 5 I'd be happy with. We've had some trials and tribulations with the car over the last few weeks trying to get everything sorted. The lads have pulled it all together, pulled the hat out of the bag, and they've really done a good job getting it all ready. Got the gearbox back in it at 8:30 last night, so we're ready to rock and roll. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a good event, good weather, ground's good as well, it's not too cold, no rain, so looking forward to it, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, are you going to err on the side of caution in the first few stages?
Yeah, we'll just get a feel for the ground, see what it's like, see how the car's behaving, and then just, if we need to step it up a bit, just work it up a bit. I'm not going to go out there like a lunatic.
Well, Justin's wanting to win this one. It's eluded him for so long.
Well, we've just got to chase him down. We're coming for you.
Good luck. There's a long way to go, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Ben Duckworth and his experienced navigator Matthew Cook are always a force to be reckoned with on events like these. However, they've taken a bit of a break from full-time competition in 2019. That's something they'll be hoping doesn't set them back too much as they try to get straight up to speed this weekend.
A one-time winner of the Hill Rally, joining me now is Ben Duckworth. The thing that eludes you is that second win. You've had problems every year since. Electrical gremlins in 2017, 2018, the engine blew up. How's the car in 2019?
Well, we've not done a lot this year, so we're not really sure, but we've been through the car and we've cured the problems that we've had in the past, so hopefully we'll be okay.
Justin's looking for that elusive win. Are you going to stand in his way?
Well, Justin's been quick this year, and he's had quite a bit of success throughout the season, and we've not been out, so we're not really expecting to be real quick. We just want to finish, and we just want to finish safely.
Yeah, I mean, at the latter stages of a hill rally, you've got to be there or thereabouts, because who knows what's going to happen. As we saw a couple of years ago with Justin Birchall, who was leading going into the last stage and threw it all away.
Yeah, that's it. And one thing with these hill rallies, they are, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. You can't go out there driving like you do in the British Championship rounds. Although, some of those stages are really, really quick. But hopefully, together with Matthew, we'll keep it on the track. And as I say, it's a long event.
What are you concentrating on here, Matt?
I think the main thing's finishing. It really is. We want to keep the car across the line, isn't it? Get it across the line. Just keep it together. Enjoy it.
No Anthony Jackson this year, but Mark Jakes has had a good year as well. He's driving really well at this moment in time, so the competition is there.
Yeah, definitely. Competition's there, but like you say, it's a marathon. Just got to keep going.
Good luck to you both. Hopefully the car's going to stay together, you're going to stay together, and we'll see you at the end.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks.
Quickest out of the blocks this morning, though, is Justin Birchall. Stage victories in stages 2 and 3, and only 3 seconds off the fastest time in stage 1, means that he's 42 seconds ahead already. As we join the competitors in stage 3, Phil Bayliss is actually Justin Birchall's nearest rival, second fastest on the stage, to move into third place overall after a steady and consistent start to the event. Consistency, though, has not been the word to describe Ben Duckworth's morning. He was fastest on the opening stage of the event, but only 5th on stage 2, dropping a chunk of time to Justin Birchall. Third fastest on stage 3 is only good enough to move him back into 4th position, and already a minute and a half away from the early rally leaders. Richard Wynne Williams has 10 years of hill rally experience behind him, and that's showing already. A safe and steady, but still at times spectacular run through the first 3 stages means that the Welshman is rounding out the top 5 at this stage. And what of Mark Jakes? Well, he was holding a comfortable second place after the first 2 stages and keeping close tabs on the leader Justin Birchall. But then he dropped over 30 seconds on stage 3, which means that whilst he does hang on to second place overall, he's now 42 seconds off the lead and coming under increasing pressure from Phil Bayliss in third. Just 7 seconds separate them heading into stage 4. Speaking of Phil Bayliss, his nearest Class 9 rival is Paul Myers. There are already over 2 minutes separating the pair. Paul is sat in 6th position overall, though, after a safe and consistent run through the first 3 stages. More consistency like that could see him challenge for a top 5 before the end of the day. Early contenders for comeback story of the event are Ian Charles and Lewis Simon in their Land Rover Tomcat. Now, this is not the most experienced pairing here this weekend, with Ian having only competed in 1 hill rally 2 years ago. And perhaps that was the reason for a slightly sluggish start. They were the slowest pair through the first stage after some early morning dramas, but have since been upping the speed consistently. They were 7th fastest through stage 3, but that's only enough to move them into 24th in the overall standings. They've got some work to do, but they clearly have the speed to continue their climb up the leaderboard. Gary Bull and Tim Simon are another pair who have been getting quicker as the morning's gone on. They were 21st fastest on the first stage of the event, 13th fastest on stage 2 before finally breaking into the top 10 with the 8th fastest time on this, the 3rd stage of the day. That means that they sit 12th and only 4 seconds outside of the top 10 in what's already turning into a very competitive midfield battle. Their Metro 6R4 is rather different to a lot of the other cars on display this weekend and brings some real rallying pedigree to the Scottish Midlands Hill Rally. It seems particularly well suited to the high-speed sections of the course, and if they can harness that potential, they could definitely move into that top 10 before long. For Johnny Drysdale and Tony Ray, this third stage of the day is, in reality, their first, after their Milner R5 failed to make it through either of the opening 2 tests of the morning. The subsequent time penalties they accrued for not completing those first 2 stages mean that they're already well out of contention, but the 9th fastest time on this, their first completed stage, shows the potential they had, if only Lady Luck hadn't deserted them so early on. Rounding out the top 10 on stage 3 are David Gross and Graham Morrison. This is their second consecutive top 10 time, and it means they sit in a reasonably secure 7th place, albeit some way behind the top 6 already. Let's take an opportunity to ride on board with this pair and take a look at what the conditions are like out there in the Forest Lodge estate. Back to the Scottish Borders Hill Rally, where Justin Birchall and Mason Kershaw are continuing to charge ahead of the competition. They've been tough to beat, in fact nearly impossible, still having only dropped that 1 stage at the start of the day. 5 subsequent stage victories mean that they are now 1 minute and 20 seconds clear of the nearest competition. Despite this comfortable lead though, Justin knows, perhaps more than most, that this rally is far from won yet. No mistakes can be allowed if they want to finally lift that winner's trophy. Mark Jakes has bounced back nicely from that slip-up on stage 3 with 3 consecutive second fastest times. That means his second position is now a little more secure, 20 seconds clear of Phil Bayliss. Phil was 3rd fastest on the 6th stage of the day, and that's been situation normal. He's been 3rd fastest already on 4 occasions this morning. And guess what? He sits in 3rd position in the overall standings. Now nearly 2 minutes ahead of anybody else though. Barring any issues, a podium finish is looking like a pretty strong eventuality. Well, Aston Cox and Rebecca Clarkson have only been out of the top 10 stage times twice today. Most recently though, that was on stage 3 where they incurred a maximum stage time, plummeting them down the order. They're 8th fastest though on stage 6, proving that they still have the speed. Their issues have brought Graham and Will Smith into the top 10 overall, and what's more, they're the comfortable leaders in the E11 class, more than 8 minutes clear of their nearest competitors. This means that they're the highest placed of the diesel cars competing this weekend, and that's impressive. They're up amongst some much quicker machinery and looking good for another top 10 result. These two have finished 7th here in the past, and already they're on course to replicate that sort of result. They need a bit more speed, or perhaps rely on a few mechanical issues for the cars to make it happen. So far, so good. Steve Hill and Andy Robinson were joint 13th fastest on the 6th stage of the day in their spectacular looking and sounding Lamborghini. This is their best individual stage performance of the event so far, but after a slightly up and down morning, they sit in 24th position overall at halfway through the first day. The pair are competing in their first ever hill rally though, so it's almost to be expected that they're taking a slightly more cautious approach to this first morning of competition. It's easy to to get things wrong on these slippery Scottish forest roads, so a tentative approach is not necessarily a bad idea. The pair who set that identical stage time to Steve Hill and Andrew Robinson were Alistair Morton and Craig Lindsay. Conversely though, this was actually a disappointing stage time, as these two had been flirting with the top 10 all day so far. They hang on to their 12th position overall and more importantly their C5 class lead, but now by a reduced margin. As you can see, their Polaris buggy is clearly struggling on some of the bumpier ground that has to be covered on this event. Some of the bigger and heavier cars are able to keep the average speed up an awful lot higher. Having to slow down this much through some of the rougher sections is hemorrhaging time to those around them. Ben Gill was another driver who had a slightly disappointing 6th stage of the day. He was 15th fastest, but running in 9th position overall at this stage means that he would have been expecting to be a little bit quicker. He's one of many though struggling on this particularly bumpy 6th stage and losing time. He's now only 7 seconds clear of Graham and Will Smith in the fight to stay within the top 10. Bradford-based driver is only on his 2nd hill rally though, so he's another who's learning just how tough these events can be. Despite their issues though, Ben and his co-driver Luke are still quicker than Tim Philpott and Sam Fitzpatrick, their nearest rivals in Class E10. There's just less than a minute separating the pair, and they're fighting for a class podium in this early stage of the event, so it's all to play for. Tim's daughter Jasmine is also competing in the event. Tim is the player placed 2 at this stage. They'll be looking to try and find a bit more speed to contend for that class podium before the event is finished. Another driver in a fight for a class podium is John Rennie. He and his co-driver Ian Gray in their Tomcat 100 currently hold 2nd place in Class E11, a position they hold after stage 6, where they set the 2nd fastest time in the class. 16th place overall doesn't sound too impressive, but considering this is only their 2nd ever hill rally, a class podium would be one heck of a result. George Bryce and Wallace Mackay are leading Class E7 at this stage, but they dropped outside of the top 10 overall on this 6th stage as Graham and Will Smith continued their charge up the order. They're still 3 minutes clear of their nearest E7 competition though, so again, keeping out of trouble and building that lead at the order of the day. George was 12th fastest overall on the first 2 stages of the day, but that is not speed that he's been able to replicate throughout the rest of the morning. Making a welcome return to hill rally competition is Welshman Wyn Williams with his co-driver Aidan Bullock. The pair haven't competed on a hill rally for about 5 years, but are straight back on the pace, just outside the top 10 overall and holding 5th position in a very competitive Class E10. The next of the diesel-powered cars is that of Robert Patton and William Bones. They're 20th fastest on stage 6, a position they hold within the overall rankings as well, meaning their 3rd position in Class E11 at this stage, albeit 8 minutes off the class lead. With 3 years of hill rally competition behind them, they might have been expecting to be a bit further up the order. However, they're realising that the further down the running order you are, the worse the road conditions are, and that's making improving their times extremely challenging. Alex Holford and Gwen Adair are next, 21st fastest on stage 6. They have been more competitive than that earlier in the day though, even flirting with the top 10 on the first stage of the event. A slow second stage though, and a similarly uncompetitive sixth stage mean their 25th position overall. This therefore is a crew who have definitely found speed, but perhaps need more consistency in order to challenge for a really good result. They've been flamboyant out on the stages though, a real treat for the spectators watching trackside as they fling their car through some of the high-speed sections. Class E7 is turning into one of the most competitive battles in this year's edition of the Hill Rally, with Keith Lynham and Greg Spencer very much a part of the battle for a class podium. Whilst George Bryson and Wallace Mackay hold a healthy lead in Class E7, the battle for second is between 2 or 3 different cars, all of whom have been trading stage times so far this morning. Second fastest this time through within their class means they move closer to that runners-up position overall. It does mean though that they've had to take some slightly adventurous lines to avoid the worst of the bumps. It's Mark and Derek McNeil that they're chasing for that second place within Class E7, and they were quicker than them by 5 seconds on stage 6. The gap is still over a couple of minutes, and as you can see here, Mark is really pushing on to try and ensure it doesn't get any smaller than that. This is an experienced combo, making their Hill Rally debut 9 years ago. Before they know that any slip-up could see them fall off the podium. They have to keep the speed up though. Doing that without making any mistakes is always a challenge. Cameron Crowe and Pauline Stevenson are also a part of this E7 podium battle. They sit in 4th position after 6 stages, and not too far behind the top 3. They were slower than the 3 ahead of them on stage 6 though, and are in danger of slipping too far back to contend. They'll need to find an upturn in pace this afternoon in order to keep themselves in contention. Be sure to join us after the break to see if they can do that, and to find out what's happening at the sharp end of the order as we head towards the conclusion of an entertaining opening day. The opening day of the Scottish Borders Hill Rally draws to its conclusion under the cover of darkness. Whilst the light conditions have changed though, not much has changed at the top of the leaderboard. Justin Birchall still your comfortable leader, now 2 minutes and 39 seconds clear of the competition. He's almost unbeaten as well, 9 stage victories out of 10 in this opening day. He's put on a clinic and has proven virtually unstoppable since the moment the event started. Whilst there's still a long way to go tomorrow, he's done the bulk of the hard work today. He can afford to stroke it home now, and barring any late misfortune, the victory is definitely his to lose. Phil Bayliss has been involved in a fantastic scrap with Mark Jakes. He sits 3rd position at the moment, just behind Mark, but the two have been trading stage times all day and into the evening, and there's no doubt that this battle is set to continue tomorrow morning. The pair of them are pushing to the absolute limit, but under the cover of darkness, Mistakes are so much easier to make. Let's hope they both get through these nighttime stages to continue their scrap tomorrow. Well, it looks like Jakes will hang on to that second position overnight, but only just. He's slower than Bayliss by quite a bit on the final stage of the day, meaning just 13 seconds will separate them heading in to the final day of competition. In fact, this will be the second stage in a row in which Bayliss is quicker than Jakes. Perhaps Mark struggling a little bit for confidence now that the conditions are a little gloomier. Well, it looks like most of the crews have survived the night in one piece, but heading into Sunday morning, there was drama to come for one of our podium contenders.
Drama here after the first stage on Sunday morning. The man running fourth place, Ben Duckworth, he wanted to come back with a bang. It's not the bang you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. We just went out this morning, did a really good first stage. Straight after the stage, we're just checking everything and realised the temperature had gone through the roof, so we just stopped and checked the coolant level, and we lost a lot of coolant. So, you know, we don't want to risk any sort of significant damage. So we've stopped and put some coolant in it, but you know, we don't want to damage it. So we're going to live for another day, really.
Yeah, and it was going well up until that point. You lost a few seconds earlier on yesterday. The first stage this morning, you was blinding stage as well. Last night it was going well. Such a shame.
Yeah, real shame. But that's racing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Seems to be the case every year, this.
Thanks.
Matt, you're smiling, and it's the end of another hill rally for you, but it's still a great event.
Yeah, great event, really well organised, just, you know, really good. This year's really flowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really good event this year, and certainly with Diana, you know, on the pits, on the microphone, and everything, letting everybody know what's going on, and it's just been a really good atmosphere, and as Matt said, set up really well. The tracks and some of the stages were fantastic.
So you got your guys going over the car now. It could be a little thing or it could be a major thing, but to put the car to bed now and just not cause any more damage, that's probably the best option.
Yeah, absolutely. We've not raced for a year. We've come out, we've had some real fun. We've put in some good times, so yeah, it's fair enough.
Our commiserations.
Yep, that's it. That's racing.
Sorry guys, and thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers.
Well, the demise of Ben Duckworth is the good fortune of Richard Wynne Williams. He's into fourth position overall now, and knows that if any one of the three in front of him trip up, he could yet inherit an overall podium. It's been a strong weekend so far for Richard. He's clear of anybody else in fourth position, and given how fierce the competition is in front of him, it's entirely possible that one of those big three might push themselves into a mistake. Richard, though, has had a strong performance, has stayed out of trouble so far, and will be no doubt happy with the top 5 finish at the end of the event. Rounding out the top 5 is Paul Myers, and he caught up with Anthony down in the service park.
Rounding out the top 5 of the Scottish Hill Rally here, going into the last 3 stages, is Paul Myers. Now, Paul, you've only done one event this year. You've changed your engine supplier. Your engine's rock solid, and you're second in class. It's going pretty well so far.
Brilliant, yeah, no, really enjoying it. We've got a John Eales 5.2 engine in now. Really, really strong engine. Going up these big hills, it just pulls and pulls and pulls, and it just feels so good.
Yeah. You've been keeping out of trouble as well. Not too many problems with the car. Have you had any punches yet?
A couple of punches, 3 punches in total, 2 today, 1 yesterday, and we shredded a diff yesterday, so but all in all we've managed to get back and still put in some reasonable times.
Yeah, well, considering all that, I mean, to be in the top 5 is quite a feat, to be honest. If you hadn't had those problems, maybe you could have been second or third.
I know, I mean, the way Phil and Justin are going at it, I'm quite glad to leave them up to it.
You don't want to get involved in that?
No, we're getting a hang of driving with a car with only 3 tyres on now, so it's getting quite fast like that.
Fair enough. It's just when you go down to 3 wheels, that's the issue.
Absolutely, yeah. And the trouble is when you're going through these quarries with a tyre off, a flat tyre, it really drags the bottom of the car through because you're losing 4 or 5 inches of ride height. So if you're not careful, you smash something on the car.
You've got 3 stages to do. Your team isn't too busy looking at the car. Is it fine? Is it just going to go out as it is?
Absolutely, yeah. No, the door fell off earlier, so we've bolted the door back on. Steve-O's giving it a good check over, fuel it, and we'll go again.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
One driver really showing some good speed on Sunday morning is Johnny Drysdale. Those early issues on Saturday morning meant that he's not been able to make too much progress up the order. Still sat down in 26th position at the moment, but he gets his first top 3 stage time on stage 13, and that's his second top 5 stage time of the event. Anthony caught up with him partway through the day.
One man who you'd expect to see at the top of the table at the Hill Rally here in Scotland is Johnny Drysdale. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a rollover, a bit of a mishap on your half, wasn't it?
Yeah, aye, on the top. Yeah, bit of alignment problems with the wheels, and no excuse for it. Going a bit too fast. Probably a couple of miles into the first stage, just came skidding into a corner too quick, and she just gently fell over. And I thought that's the weekend over, that's us done. But it was such a gentle rollover, unbelievably it survived. So
there's not much damage on the car. Considering what happened last year, where you didn't even do the first 3 stages, to get the car back out, and you're putting in times which are close to Justin Birchall and Ben Duckworth and Mark Jiggs.
Trying to. Trying to. I mean, we can shove on, but then maybe shoving on too much. I don't know. But just going out and I think, like say today, just go and drive like a maniac and have a laugh, because there's no major result to be had. There's no anything. We'll just go and have an absolute barrel of laughs. So might as well try and finish. See if we can keep it on the wheels.
So your plan today is just nail it?
Yeah, just go and have a laugh. Because at the end of the day, youngest service crew ever.
Oh,
Wee Katie.
Who's this?
Wee Katie. This is Chief Mechanic Special Ian's little one. So there's nowhere for us to test these cars or anything. There's no testing. It's just each event, home, work on them, get them all serviced up for the next event and go and it's an event, it's a competitive event. That's where you test them. There's nowhere to actually go and, I haven't got a farm or anywhere that I can go and use to have a blast around. So
it's instantly a shakedown when you turn up.
Yeah, everything is testing. I think we all say, we're just trying this and we're just trying that, but that is how it always is. And at the end of the day, you just come out and drive like a nutcase and see what happens.
Well, based on your driving style, what we've seen in the past, this should be something special. So good luck. Hopefully we'll see you at the end.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully not be giving you too much of a YouTube style show. So,
cheers, Johnny.
All right, cheers for that, folks.
Propping up the timesheets in stage 13, halfway through day 2, are Billy Cruikshank and Alison Anderton in their Land Rover Special. They sit in 25th position overall at this stage, but they're one of only 2 cars entered in Class B3, the other one being that of David Brose, running in 6th position overall. With no class position to fight for, it's really just been a battle of survival for this pair, and their rugged Land Rover has withstood the bumpy nature of the course terrifically well so far. A lot of these roads were used extensively yesterday, and you can see just how cut up the terrain has become. That means the average speeds are down for all of the competitors, particularly those running older machinery, which may be a tad more breakable. Slow and steady sometimes does win the race, and this is the only way to get these cars through the course without sustaining damage.
An interesting entry this year, and well worth a mention, is the Harper Adams Motorsport and University team. Firstly, you're the driver, you're the team manager. Where did this car originally come from?
Well, it came from Andrew Chaplin, and it parked at our uni after it'd been through Morocco and had a few dents and bumps. Yeah. So some of the older guys saw it there and said, well, can we have a play with this car? And they did. So we've been building it ever since. It's been quite a long process because we change the team every year because some graduate and some. So it's always been up and down how much work has been gone into the car. This year we've really cracked on. Last year we really cracked on, and now it's a running car.
And you're here at Forest Lodge. It's a great place to race. The car looks immaculate. How you found it in the first day? I'll speak to the driver.
We had a couple of teething problems, as you would with a sort of fresh build, as it were. But no, the crew here has been great. They've got it back together, got it back out. So yeah, stage felt really good. If a little bit slippery. Steering falling off was a fun one, but yeah, apart from that.
And you're running a TD5 standard turbo with a remap, you think?
Yeah, it's definitely remapped, but we're not too sure who by. Got an intercooler, standard turbo, so might be 180 horsepower-ish, not really sure. So yeah,
And what are you expecting here this weekend? Just to finish?
just to finish. If we can finish, we'll be really happy.
It's our shakedown as well, so it's our shakedown as well. It's the first event it's done, so we're just hoping to finish really. Yeah.
Ambitious event to try and finish as the first one, but yeah. Hopefully get to the end.
Okay, well, I wish you both, all the team, good luck, and hopefully we will see you at the end.
Yeah, brilliant. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, whilst Josh may be languishing towards the bottom of the timing sheets, there is still a real battle raging inside the podium positions as we head into the final part of the event.
3 stages down here on this Sunday morning. Mark Jakes, you're running second all day yesterday. It's close between you and Phil Bayliss. This morning, you've had a time of it, haven't you? Talk us through it.
Well, yeah, we went into the first stage, going really well to be fair. Got onto the muddy death road, as some people call it, and we were giving it some beans, and I think I gave it a bit too many beans, and we hit a massive rock. It's torn the front belly pan off, bent the frame, put a hole in the floor underneath my feet, so all the water was coming up into my face and all over the windscreen, so we couldn't see where we were going, and it just sort of went downhill from there. We managed to get through the stage. We were trying to clean the screen with gloves and whatever we could find, just so we could see. Just managed to knock the floor out for the second stage, and then I drove it, and whenever we came to a puddle, I had to put my foot over the hole. And then on the third stage, we managed to get some tape, did a bit of a detour, got some tape, taped it up. But we've got no belly pan on the front now, so a rock or something got caught in the prop shaft, and it sounded like the engine had blown up, but luckily it cleared, and we just kept on going as good as we could. But yeah, probably the worst 3 stages on a hill rally I've ever done in my life, but we got through it in the end. So I think we've dropped down to 3rd or possibly 4th. We just couldn't see where we were going.
We're just looking on a timing screen. I think you are just behind Phil Bayliss at the moment, but it's not been confirmed. Justin's not back either yet.
Justin's
just to come back.
Now, yeah. I think Justin had a puncture.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was fixing that when we went in stage 2. So yeah, but everyone's still going, I think.
Yeah. It's getting real now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We've got 3 more stages left to do, and I just hope the car will finish it.
Yeah. Last year you were hoping for 2nd. This year you're in 3rd. Do you think you can overtake Phil?
Hopefully, I'm going to do my best. But you know, me and Phil are all scrapping for 2nd, 3rd, and 1st. But yeah, it's been a good event so far. Just hopefully I can get the time back now.
Good luck.
Cheers, thanks guys, thank you.
Thanks. And if we can move a bit further down, we've got Phil Bayliss somewhere. Lance Murphy is co-driver. There's Phil, just talking. Lance, how's it going?
Not bad, thank you.
Yeah, you just finished the first 3 stages. Jumped Mark Jakes as well.
Yeah, luckily. Unfortunately for him, he's had a couple of problems, but we're pushing on.
I noticed you've got plenty of dents in the front of the car. That's not from this event, is it?
Some of it. Some of it. Yesterday we did have a moment in the ditch, which has bent it a bit more, but no, not too bad.
3 stages to go. What do you think your chances are for first?
Slim. He's got a decent lead at the moment.
Yes, yeah. We just had a puncher, so you never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. There's still a chance.
You got to be in it to win it.
You have, yes.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Further down, let's see who else we can find. Got Rob Bull, who was competing last year. Rob, your car's not quite ready this year, but how do you think the event's gone?
Oh, brilliant, yeah, pretty smooth, I can tell, yeah. Enjoy servicing as well and seeing a diffdifferent side of it.
Yeah, you miss being out racing now.
Yeah, I do, I do when I'm in the pits, yeah.
Fair enough, well, we'll let you get back on. We're going to have to speak to Justin, cheers. Justin and Richard Wynne-Williams, Justin Birchall.
Oh no, well, yeah. don't run out. Take the limelight, yeah. Come on, Justin.
Justin's been leading the event all weekend. This morning you've had a bit of a puncher, haven't you? Talk us through it.
Yeah, you hit something and tyre goes down. It goes, you know. So I took it easy. Went through the muddy mile, just brisk, no problem. And then you get about a couple of miles around the corner, and they take you off the track, and it's a really rutted. So I took it nice and gently down there, come out with a flat. And I was like, oh, not again. So yeah.
So you say you should have gone quicker?
Yeah, it's one of them. If you take it too gently, you find everything, but if you've got to go at a brisk pace just to skip along the top, so there's something in there that took me really time out, so I won't be slowing down in there next time. I'll be skipping along the top again. So.
Well, 3 stages to go and it could be 2019 Scottish Hill Rally champion.
Don't bloody say that. You did this to me last time and it all went Pete
It's
Tong.
all my fault, isn't it? Nothing to do with your driving style.
But no, I'm not counting my chickens yet, so we'll get to end of the day.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I've got rabbit's foot in car, I've got piece of wood in car, I've got all sorts, so I'm just keep rubbing them on.
You're avoiding those black cats.
Yeah, I'm pointing them black cats, and every time I see a magpie, I've never done that before. I see a magpie, I'm saluted it now. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers. And next up is Richard Wynne-Williams. I know you're deep in conversation. How's it going for you?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're up to 4th now, so just get these next 3 out of the way, we'll be all right.
Yeah, you got Phil Bayliss and Matt Jakes in front of you as well as Justin, and these guys have been scrapping all the way to the end. Yeah. So who knows, you could be on the podium.
Well, we've got Myers is behind us, but I don't know where he's not come back yet, so we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully.
There's a slight smile on your face there.
Well,
is there much wrong with the car? Do you need much to do in service?
No, we lost the brakes a bit on the last one, but they come back. I think we just overheated them on the first. The first stage today is a bad stage. It's rough and it's muddy. Yeah. But the brakes have come back now, so we're just debating whether to touch them or just leave them and see how we go. I think so.
Well, good luck.
On to the final loop of Sunday stages then, and a chance to check in on Dale Gilbertson, who currently runs second in Class E7. He's trying to close in on the class leader George Bryson, but a couple of minutes do separate the pair with only a couple of stages to go. Dale is a bit quicker at this stage, but will it be enough to make a late steal for the class victory? Another driver we haven't had a chance to catch up with yet is Scott Carruthers, who rounds out the top 20 heading into the final stage of the event. It's been a solid, if unspectacular, run to 4th place in class for Scott, but he'll be glad to see the finish of what's been a gruelling event. This final section of the final stage is one last challenge for the drivers to negotiate. A run through the quarry with some man-made obstacles to negotiate as well, as if the going hadn't been rough enough already. Another crew glad just to see the end of the event will be Stephen Richards and Kevin Handley. They're entered into Class E11 this weekend and run 4th position at the moment, but several minutes behind the podium runners. "23rd place overall is tantalisingly close to the top 20. Barring any late dramas for those ahead, 23rd looks like it's as good as it will get. Well, sadly, on any event, someone has to come last. And this weekend it looks like it's the unfortunate turn of Paul and Steve Chambers. They had a disastrous first day, retiring from the 5th stage and unable to take part in any of the remaining tests that day. The subsequent penalties they accrued mean that they will finish the event 2 hours and 10 minutes away from the overall leaders. Still, they've been able to get some good stage mileage under their belt on Sunday, and the car has actually been reasonably competitive, regularly setting times in and around the top 20. It's a case of what could have been for this pair, who no doubt will be back next year to try and enjoy a slightly more fortuitous hill rally performance. Well, as they make their way through the final part of the final stage, let's head back down to Anthony in the surface park.
Currently lying 12th overall and 2nd in Class C5 is Aston Cox. You had a nightmare in Stage 3, put you down to 20 plus in the standings. Currently lying 12th. You just pulled 2.5 minutes back on the leader. 3 stages to go. Can you do it?
Oh, it's a big push. I can say the quarry sections are nasty. You just got to be so careful not to get a puncture. And so that's what happened beforehand. I got stone stuck in the caliper and busted the rim, and that was that. And we had to change it. We couldn't go anywhere. So it's going to be a big push. But we'll see what happens. Like I say, as long as we can keep it on the island, that's the main thing.
Yeah. A lot of people, well, that's Justin who's leading the event at the moment, said he took it easy, he took it slow, and he caught every rock and got a puncher. So is it going into the last 3 stages, go hell for leather, and hopefully you're going to skip over everything, or are you going to take it easy and just hope for the best?
I don't know, the quarries, because they're rutted out now and they're very deep, a lot of sharp rocks on the edge, so you kind of half-hearted go through them sort of thing. As soon as you get on the Cat 1, just go for it. But we've got the big muddy mile run now, and I can say that thing just comes in a world of its own down there. So we'll have a big push down there and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't end in tears.
Good luck, we'll keep an eye on it.
Champion, thank you.
Well, for the final time, let's ride on board with rally leader Justin Birchall. It's been an utterly dominant performance this weekend, losing out on just 5 stage victories over the entire event, and he will come home the winner by nearly 2.5 minutes. Phil Bayliss ends up second with Mark Jakes third, Richard Wynne-Williams fourth, and Paul Myers to round out the top 5 after a gruelling 2 days of competition. Here is confirmation then of your class winners. Justin Birchall wins in Class 8, Phil Bayliss Class 9 and Mark Jakes Class 10. David Brose, Graham Smith, Alistair Morton and George Bryson are all class winners in 2019.
Justin, we're here at the end of the Scottish Borders Hill Rally 2019 and you're the winner. Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you. It's been fun. It's been emotional, very emotional. Looking bitches. It's been a bloody good event. Yeah, it's been long waited. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And that makes you the 2019 Hill Rally champion as well.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I entered that one as well. So a double whammy.
You were thinking about that then, weren't you?
Yeah. So it's been a good year. Yeah, with. We clinched the old Goodwood one as well, so on the British, and now the Hill Rally one. So yeah, no, brilliant.
Clean sweep. What are you?
Sorry?
Clean sweep. What
yes, yeah, it's been. Yeah, there was a moment where it might not have been a clean sweep back there, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been great.
Yeah, what was the last 3 stages like?
Slippy. New stages over there which I've never been on. I've run up here for like 10-15 years, so I pretty much know the estate back of my hand, so that were absolute virgin territory over there. So yeah, we went a bit too briskly into some corners, and it was just so slippy. It was just full of ice, so we got through it though.
Well, you held it all together, and it's the first time you actually finished this event, so congratulations. Go and enjoy it.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks.